And the last key enabler we have here is to determine the best level of decision making authority. The exam often tests your understanding of delegating decision making authority appropriately to empower the team while maintaining project control. For instance, you may face some of these situational questions that present a decision making conflict or bottleneck. The correct answers typically involve empowering the team members within the boundaries of their roles and ensuring that they understand their authority to make decisions that aligns with the project objectives. The key exam tip here under this, let's say, task when empowering the team members and stakeholders. Situational questions may test your ability to balance empowerment with project governance. And the correct answers often focuses on creating a supportive environment where team members and stakeholders feel confident taking the ownership of their tasks, making decisions and contributing to project success. Look for responses that promote trust, collaboration, and strategic delegation. And the fifth task under the people domain we have is to ensure team members and stakeholders are adequately trained, ensuring that the team members and stakeholders receives the appropriate training is critical to project success. The PMP exam will assess your ability to identify the training needs, allocate resources, and evaluate outcomes effectively. Let's break down each of the subtasks. The first key enabler here we have is to determine the required competencies and elements of training. Expect some questions that may present scenarios where gaps in teams or stakeholder competencies that could impact the project performance. And the correct response often involves conducting a skill gap analysis, defining the competencies needed for the project, and identifying specific training objectives. And the key tools and techniques includes the assessment or job analysis or consultation with the functional managers or SMEs. Let's move now to the next key enabler or subtask under that, let's say task. Determine the training options based on training needs. And the situational questions may test your ability here to select the appropriate training options for the team or stakeholders. And these can include on-job training, workshop, or online courses, sometimes mentoring or formal certifications. The answers here should be or should demonstrate the understanding of factors such as the budget, time, constraints, and accessibility when selecting the training options. And the third key enabler we have here is to allocate the resources for training. And here's the exam may ask you how to secure and allocate the necessary resources for training, such time, budget, or personal. The correct responses typically focus on aligning training needs with the project priorities, gaining the stakeholders' buy in for training, investment, and scheduling sessions to minimize the project disruptions. And the last enabler here we have is to measure the training outcomes. In the PMP exams, or in the PMP exam, expect questions that might involve assessing the effectiveness of training efforts. And for example, you could be asked to evaluate whether a training has improved performance or closed the skill gap. The correct answers to such questions often include measuring the outcomes using tools such as the pre-post training assessment or feedback surveys or KPIs to ensure the training has met its objectives. And to summarize our, let's say, discussion on the key enablers and let's say the type of questions that you might face for the fifth task under the people domain by ensuring the team members and stakeholders are trained. The PMP exam emphasizes aligning the training efforts with the project and organizational goals. Remember always to look for answers that balance the immediate needs of project with long-term benefits of the team development. Remember that effective training strategies should promote the competency, efficiency, and alignment with the project deliverables. Let's move to the next task, which build a team under the people domain. Building a high-performing team is central to project success. And the PMP exam will test your ability to appraise skills, identify resource needs, and ensure the team remains effective throughout the project. Here is how each of the subtasks fits into the exam context. First, let's start with the key enabler here, which appraise the stakeholder skills. The exam scenarios may involve assessing the capabilities of the team members and stakeholders to determine how their skills align with the project needs. You might need to analyze the resumes or interview the team members or evaluate the past performance. And the correct answers here will often focus on matching the right individuals to the right roles based on the expertise and the project goals. The next key enabler here we have is to um, reduce the project resource requirements and expect some situational questions that may present a project scenario where you need to determine the types, levels of resources required, including human, financial, material resources. And your answers to such questions should demonstrate your ability to use tools like resource breakdown structure or the RBS and skill matrix or workload analysis to identify the optimal mix of resources. The third subtask here or enabler is to continuously assess and refresh team skills to meet the project needs. You could be asked how to address a skill gap or adapt to changes during the project lifecycle. And the correct answers to such question or the correct responses here often involve conducting a regular skill assessment or providing upskilling opportunities and fostering a culture of continuous learning. Remember these techniques like the cross training and knowledge sharing workshop may be highlighted as a best practices. And the fourth key enabler here is to maintain team and knowledge transfer. And the exam questions here may focus on strategies to ensure the team stability and effective knowledge management. Answers should include implementing processes for capturing and sharing project knowledge. For example, if you remember that when we discuss the lessons learned repositories, ensuring that all of these are, let's say, updated or the shared drives. Additionally, you might be tested on retaining key talent and mitigating turnover risks by fostering engagement and addressing the team morals. The PMP exam, remember that it will evaluate how well you balance the team development with the project execution. Always prioritize the answers that focuses on aligning the team skills with the project objectives and adapting to changes in resources needs. Also fostering a collaborative and sustainable team environment.